Now, the Health Department says the decision by the South African Health Products Regulatory Authority to recall a medical lubricating gel is the right one. This gel is believed to be behind a multi-provincial fungal outbreak in the country. This comes after SAHPRA confirmed that it's been informed of multiple complaints from health institutions, both public and private. The complaints are as a result of a number of patients who became ill due to developing a fungal infection caused by exposure to this gel. Let's unpack this further with the chairperson of the SA Medical Association. That's Dr. Mvuyisi Mzukwa, who joins us now via our video link. Doc, great to have you on the program as always. Thanks very much indeed for making time to speak to us. Can we just begin with understanding what the purpose of this gel actually is before we get to what I reckon are these unforeseen, these unintended consequences, I should say, of using this gel?
Good morning to you, Ayanda, and to your viewers, and thanks for having me in your program. Yes, this gel is used, as a lubricant. When you put in the catheter, some of the people who are admitted in hospital cannot, because of their critical illness, they cannot go to the bathrooms and stuff like that. So they need a catheter so that their life is made easier in terms of passing urine and stuff like that, without soiling themselves. But also, these catheters are used, for example, if you are intubating a patient who's in ICU who cannot breathe for themselves. So you make it easy for the tube to get in, gliding in easily without hurting the patient or the person who's admitted. But also, sometimes it can be used, in the blood or in the veins, where you put a catheter in the vein. And also the principle is the same. You just want this gadget to, glide in without hurting the structures within the person.
Sure. And how long has it been used, Doc?
Well, it has been used for a very long time. Obviously, most of the time it depends on the tender that is being out there. But this one has been used for some time, almost in the public and the private sector.
Right. And in fact, the information I have at my disposal, the health department is speaking about 380 patients between January last year and December this year who've now reported that they've had the side effects. I don't even know if that's the right term, really, where there's a fungal infection that they end up contracting. What do you know to be, involved in the side effect? What typically happens to patients who report this?
Well, it starts with the clinicians in the hospitals. Because these patients, obviously, you would understand, these are admitted patients most of the time, admitted patients. But you can have patients who are not admitted who are developing the symptoms, where you find that your patient is in ICU for some reason. The temperature goes high, and you might have also the heart beating faster. So obviously that will trigger an investigation because doctors would want to know what is happening now with this person. We just put a catheter 2 or 3 days ago, and this is what is happening. So they obviously take blood and send that to the lab, for further investigations. And you'll notice from the lab, they will grow that whichever bug that's in there. So they will pick up whatever bug that is in the blood. And obviously, if you've got many cases, of such a bug, it will trigger an investigation with the NICD. So I think that's how it came about, that it starts from the vigilance of the clinicians on the ground.
Sure. Really worrying this, especially because it sounds like people who would be using this gel are in many instances already immunocompromised. They are already ill. How easy then is it to treat this bug, especially among those people?
Yes, you're correct there, and it's usually people who are immunocompromised because at times you can have that infection, but it wouldn't trigger any or bug in your system. It wouldn't trigger any infection in terms of symptoms, because I believe that's what happened in some of these cases where you find that there was a bug in the blood, but it was not necessarily causing an illness. So if you are immunocompromised, or even infants who are admitted, in ICUs, the neonates, and also those who are in the critical care space, like, for example, in the ICUs, elderly patients who might be catheterized, they obviously develop this, they are vulnerable in terms of developing these infections. But it is a treatable condition, I think people should not panic. It is a treatable condition. There are medicines, even intravenous medicines, and even pills that are used, to treat this condition.
Yeah. The health department says that it's already alerted their provincial health authorities to place whatever suspected batches they have on hold. But I wonder how confident you are that this message will get to the right place soon enough in order to prevent an escalation of the problem, so to speak, especially because, as I mentioned, already 380 patients have been detected to have developed this bug.
I really hope that the department will be very agile in terms of responding, to the need in the institutions. For example, if you withdraw this gel, then you must put something in place because procedures will continue. So you do need another replacement so that work is not stalled because of unavailability of stock on the ground. So I hope they have a second plan in place to mitigate, in those circumstances. And like you said, obviously, if we withdraw this, then there needs to be, we need to report, or the authorities must report, to the manufacturer or the owner of the product, so that they start their own investigations in the chain of manufacturing as to what happened, whilst they were manufacturing, where the contamination was.
Sure. A really important story, this, and thanks for helping us highlight it. Dr. Mvuyisi Mzukwa, the chairperson of the SA Medical Association. As always, Doc, we appreciate your time.